Okay, this is, let's see, Epic Pen. Who joined the party? I'm here. Can you hear me, Dan? This is the first target of the night is Comet Borrelli. I got out here a little late. I plan on doing a few comets tonight. When I got out earlier and went to set up, I found out that my Malincam 20.5-inch monitor was acting strange, so I ended up having to bring a substitute monitor out here tonight. Of course, when I plugged it back into the house, it worked fine, so who knows? Let me grab some I'm going to grab some captures too, so that'll be under Options, Preferences, Auto Capture. Save it to my desktop. PNGs. Maybe every 30 seconds. I'll grab an image. And start auto capturing with. Now the view, this view is with the, let me type it in. I'm using two different scopes and cameras tonight. This is the VRC 16 at f8 and a DS26mTEC. I don't know, the monitor exists out in this observatory 24/7. I'm thinking maybe some of the potentiometers that you use to adjust the brightness, contrast, whatever, got a little crudted up. Because when I brought it inside, put a new power supply on it, started up, and then started tweaking the knobs, everything looked good. Yeah, this is the native F ratio, f8. With this big chip, I can't use a focal reducer. None of the focal reducers Rock has made are big enough. Oh, let me put the cooler on. I don't think I have the cooler on. Cooling is now on. And I think the fan is on high, yeah. The heater should be on a quarter. It is. Sharpness is off. Miscellaneous is off. What else? There's also low noise, which is on. It's supposed to get down to about 29, 30 Fahrenheit tomorrow morning. So we have another cold front coming through. Okay, I do have a flat applied, I do have a dark applied, but I don't know if I have the right dark. Right now I'm at what, 15 seconds. Let me see. Import a 15-second dark. Okay, 15-second dark. But that's Comet Borrelli with the 16-inch. Evening, Mike. Let's see, what does the other scope look like? That shows you how the two scopes are not perfectly aligned. And I haven't done a focus yet either. That's with the 16-inch. You can set the heat wherever you want. I usually set it to 1/4. I mean, that's mainly there to avert condensation. Oh, something just went through the field of view. I gotta flip this. Let's see. To match the field of view, let's see. Yeah, the comet's above that row of stars. So let me go to this one and do a let's see what happens now. And this is a 10-second exposure. That shows you how small the comet is in a 61mm scope. I'm going to zoom way the heck in. Let me go to a little bit longer exposure. Let me go to 15. Let me go with a longer. Do I have a longer dark? This is the DS26. DS26mTEC. Gain, where's the gain? I gain at 25 and I'll go to 22nd. Okay, dark. What the heck? There went another satellite. I think I took, okay, options, preferences, auto capture. Again, I'm going to do 30-second auto captures. Put them on the desktop. And I'll start capturing here too. But yeah, that's the comet. Let me put the description of what this scope is. And this is the William Optics Z61 at f4.7 DS26mTEC. It's not exactly an ocean. It's the Gulf of Mexico. Very shallow water, not like the Pacific. So that's the view. And I'm going to slowly zoom into the comet. Supposedly its magnitude right now is 9.2. $60 feet, that's all? Oh well, the Gulf gets a lot deeper than that. Of course, you have to go off the continental shelf before it gets real deep. It's very shallow until you get off the continental shelf, and then it falls off quickly. Let me go back to the big gun and see what it looks like in it. There's a few targets near here I was going to try for. There's a galaxy group, NGC 470. Let's do tools. NGC 470. And I want to go to Interactive Atlas, and there it is. The comet's tail, according to Sky Tools, is pointing that way. That's a star at the bottom, right out the field of view. There's a few bright stars right outside the field of view. So let me see if I can go to this galaxy group. Yeah, this is how far away from the comet. Let's see. Angular measurement, it is only about 1 degree away. Okay, so let's slew.
The telescope is slewing.
You heard how much of a slew that was. There should be a couple of galaxies in the field of view when it gets there. Yep. 1, 2. Bright star. So let me erase this. And now we're going to NGC 470. Okay, let's see. NGC 470. Let me get a DSS image to make sure if that's the get DSS image, 60 minutes in size, my attachments, get image. Hopefully what happened? It didn't show the... Okay, let's view, draw image, apply, close, background images, my attachments. Okay. So this, oh, come on, phone, don't fall down. Let me point an arrow to the main galaxy. That's 470 there. With 2 stars below it. Okay, there's another galaxy in the field of view. NGC 474. There. And that little dot let me do some live stacking. Oh God. Okay, where's the live stack? And I want to do average live stacking 5 enable. Okay. There's a few more galaxies. Let me see if I can point them. NGC 467. NGC 467 is that little dot right there. Wow, there's a few more. Where is it? Yep, that's it. There's a Leda galaxy. 140,000 light years in diameter. And it is right here. It's 1 giga-year from Earth. What is it, 1 billion light years? And there's a few more faint ones. Another Leda galaxy is this little faint fuzz showing up right about there. Leda 1249151 doesn't have its distance. No, this is with the 16-inch. And there's another faint galaxy right here, which is, see, right, where is it? Bright star, that's this one right here. MCG, magnitude 16.6. Yeah, this little faint one that I just drew at the bottom is 16.6. Maybe I could put that text on. 16.6 is that one there. This other one is 16.9. And the one by those two stars is magnitude 16.1. So this one's magnitude 16.1. Right there. There are other ones. What's the magnitude of that one? 17.1. A little dot there, 17.1. A little fuzz ball there. Let me see what else they show. I don't know. Pretty interesting view. That one is, wait, where'd it go? Little dot right there. 17.1, and it is, which one did I just point to? That's a Leda galaxy, 17.1. They don't give its distance. Yes, it is. Though these are pretty small. Let me clean up. Well, I can zoom in. Right at the tip of the arrow now is the 17.1. Now I'm moving over the one on the right, 16.1, next to the star. You can see it a little bit better. Let me turn all the markings off. You're actually seeing some nice structure in the main galaxy 470. .474, the one in the center now is, what is it classified as? 474, it's known as ARP 227 lenticular. Let's back to the full field of view. Time to put the heater on by my feet. Oh. So that was NGC 470. NGC 488 is another galaxy group. Let me see where it is. It's not too far from here. NG488, and let's go to an interactive atlas. And let me get a DSS image. Get the image, and then we'll slew to it.
The telescope is slewing.
It again is not a very far slew. Let me stop the live stack. Let me erase the two names at the top. And this is going to be NGC488. NGC488. Star. MCG has another little faint galaxy right here. MCG. That is MCG. MCG 1-4-30. And I will bring up its information. It is magnitude 15.9. It's barely there. Surface brightness 23.1. Evening, Rusty and Gary. There's a pair of galaxies at the top. Let's see. Galaxy. A bright star. Galaxy, 3 stars. Pointing to another star. I think I'm getting close to the dome. Let me rotate the dome. I'm trying to okay, that's those two. NGC 492 there's the information. And I'll mark that galaxy. NGC 492. It's that little fuzz ball right there, magnitude 15.9. And there's a faint galaxy next to it. MCG is a 15.2. It's magnitude 15.2 there. And there's a few other galaxies in between. NGC 490 at 15.3. At 15.3. That little dot right there. And the faint dot, let's see, there's a few more. 1, 2, 3 curve. There's a whole, there's a bunch of them shown in the DSS image that don't even have names on them. Okay. Let me see what the, let me, you just got to think like the programmer. We can see what the minuscule field looks like in a 61 millimeter. Lordy, lordy, there's those galaxies right in the middle. Yeah, the main galaxy, 488, is right there in the middle. Oh wait, no, that's, I'm still, wait. Maybe I am still live stacking with the no, that's not a live stack. That's it. That's the field of view with the 61 millimeter. So let me go another satellite. So let me go to the next object I had on the list. Is the NGC 520 was a distorted galaxy. That's again in the same general area. NGC 520, well, object information, action, interactive atlas, and let's slew to it.
The telescope is slewing.
get a picture of it. The DSS image. My attachments. Get image. Yeah, you can see that distorted galaxy in the middle. I'm going to do some live stack. Let me do a white balance first. $30.49. Okay. Okay. Let's start the live stacking. And this is NGC 520. And what was the information on it? It says a peculiar galaxy nearly edge on. Interaction is evident with another galaxy. I'm going to go with a little bit longer exposure. Well, let me, yeah, I'll zoom in. I thought I saw, oh, there is a very faint extension that I can barely see down here. And at first I thought I was seeing something that wasn't there, but let me bring over the DSS image. There's the DSS image. And you can see in the DSS image that extension as well. You also can see at the very bottom this little PGC galaxy. Magnitude 16.8. PGC 16.8. Right there. If you think like Greg Krinkla, then everything makes sense. I've been a beta tester of his since the very first version came out, and yeah, not everything is evident. What else do they show in this field of view, supposedly? There's supposed to be UGC. And it's a good planning tool also. You can plan I made a list once of planetary nebulas that show ring structure of a certain size, all from the NGC list, and it'll generate the list, and then you can observe them one after the other. I wonder if a longer exposure would help with this. Let's see. Right now I'm at 15 seconds, so let me go to 25. More power. Because supposedly there is a UGC galaxy there, which doesn't really show up in the 1, 2, 3. Let me mark it. Bam. Size. That is PGC 5195. Yeah, they showed us other object 15.3, but it must have a real low surface brightness. Let me pull up the information. This PGC 2008 is supposed to be right in that area, and I do not see it. Now I do see some other fainter galaxies at the very bottom. There is a MC, let me close this out. Yeah, that one I don't see. Well, let me see what other descriptions they give for it. Hold on, let's see. Let me get back to my cursor. PGC. Oh, also known as, and they don't have any also known as. that's all they have for it. If there are other alternates, Greg generally puts them in his object information sheet. But there's 2 other galaxies visible in the field of view. Right there. And right there. The one on the left, magnitude 18.8. That's this one right here. MCG 0-4-124. And if anybody else besides me can see it. Hi, Derek. Oh, let me bring the black point over. Maybe it'll help. And the other galaxy is Alita at magnitude 17.3. That little one is 17.3. that little main galaxy 520 really shows some nice structure now. Yeah, I just raised the black point. This is SkyTools 4 imaging. In some respects, I still like SkyTools 3. The problem is with SkyTools 3, you used to be able to directly import a DSS image into the map, and the link service that Greg Krinkler provided for those links no longer works, so you can no longer bring DSS images into a SkyTools 3 chart. So that's kind of forced me to use SkyTools for imaging more. Let me erase a few of these things and I'll zoom in. Maybe I'll raise the black point a little bit more. And let me zoom in on that galaxy. That's 100% on NGC 520. And you can see that extension coming off has a decided curve to it. They say that is a galaxy collision. It goes move down to the bottom, and see that's it. That is the PGC galaxy right in the center. And then at the bottom center now you can see the MCG on the left and the Leda to the right. Right above the WO-Z61 symbol. Okay, stop live stacking. And what was my next target? I had another comet on the list, I think, next. Another comet in Cetus. This is a little bit fainter. Comet 6P DRS. Let's go to my comet list. Slew to and center.
The telescope is slewing.
Let me remove the dome. Okay. Turn the blue lights off. Didn't turn them off fast enough. Evening, Hamal. God, why is that so bright? Let's wait till the next refresh and see if... Oh, what's causing that? Let me go to shorter exposure. Maybe I'm picking up some light pollution down in that direction of the sky. Stop. Let me go down to 10 seconds. Looping at 10 seconds. Well, that definitely darkened it up. Let me see if I can recognize any of the stars in the field of view. Everything was going so well, all of a sudden now I missed a target. 1, 2, 1, 2. No. I am thinking this is a much fainter comet, and I think I see something here. Let me put down the name of what I'm looking for. Let me see if it shows up in the other telescope. This is the wide field view, so this is probably not even gonna, no. Nope, I don't see the comet. Let me go back to the big telescope. Well, if that comet's there, it is real faint. Let me try with a little bit longer exposure, see if I can get anything out of it. If not, I'm going to go to another target. I just went to 15 seconds. I think that's the comet, but boy, it is not much. Let me try a few live stacks to see if it cleans up any. Does anybody see what I think I'm seeing? I'm seeing something right here. Let me zoom in a bit, Jeff. I just zoomed in a little bit. Do we have any in the... I mean, there's something faint there, but... And there's a bunch of minuscule galaxies in the, as you can see to the right of those stars. There's a bunch of galaxies in the field of view. But I'm thinking that this, I keep grabbing that arrow and it doesn't grab. I'm thinking that is the comet right there. And all the little fuzz balls you see to the right of those two stars, those are all galaxies. This comet is supposed to be magnitude 11.3, but it may be very diffuse, and that's why it's not showing up that well. I'm going to go for one more comet in this general area. You know, when you zoom out, you can see there's definitely something right above that star. Okay, I'm going to go now to Comet 104P Kowal, Kowal. This is also in Cetus.
The telescope is slewing.
Okay, the blue light is now off. The live stacking is now off. And this comet is a lot better. Let me put up a designation. (104P/KOWAL). This actually shows a slight bit of that turquoise color. I'm going to go with some live stacking now. See if it shows up in the other telescope. It does. It's small and faint, but it's definitely there. This is the 61 millimeter refractor with the monochrome 26 in it. And then I'll flip back to the let me do a white balance. 3653. See what happens. Okay. There's nothing else. Nothing else in this field of view that I can point out. But the last object in this area I'm going to go to is going to be a Higgs galaxy group, which is right below the comet. Hickson 15. Then I'm going to go to the east side of the meridian, hopefully. That comet looks, you can see a hint of a tail pointing to the upper right slightly. Anybody else join in? Hi, Will, Rodney. We'll stop the live stack, and I'm going to go over to Hickson 15.
The telescope is slewing.
Hickson 15. Nice little galaxy cluster. Let me get a DSS image. I'll bring it over to show you. What they look like with a different telescope. Okay, how come it didn't draw them? Okay. Get DSS image. My attachments. Get image. Okay. I was a visual observer from 1968 until 2004 when I got my first Malin cam, and that changed me forever. Let me bring over the DSS image from Sky Tools. So I am guessing, trying to get the orientation right. There's those two stars. So I guess this is MCG 0640. That one. That one. And I'm really, let me erase that. That one is this one here. And this one would be there. And as far as information on those galaxies, the top galaxy is magnitude 14.7. The MCG 0638 is magnitude 14.6. Next one down is magnitude 15. And the bottom one is magnitude 15.8. I still like eyepiece observing for the planets. That's the main thing I use eyepieces for, planets and moon. Where's the other galaxies? There's a few other galaxies. Okay, bump, bump, bump. Yep. This little galaxy pair right here. Is that the galaxy pair there? The DS2.3 is a pretty good camera. It's got a smaller chip. Is it a 2.3 or a 2.3 plus? Because the 2.3 is an 8.5 millimeter sensor, and the 2.3 plus is a 13.4 millimeter sensor. Bigger pixels. It's more sensitive than the 2.3. Let me drag this back. Oh, wait, I didn't want to do that. Erase. How about erase that? Bring that back to the other monitor. And let me erase a few lines. I'm going to go at a little bit longer exposure, see if I can tweak out some more detail in these galaxies. So right now I'm at, was it 15 seconds I said? Stop. Let me go to 25. Loop. So I just bumped it to 25. So Sky Tools shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 galaxies in that little circle for Hickson 15. See, you can see the histogram bumped over with the longer exposure. I mean, back, even when I had my 17.5 and I'd visually observe with it back in the 90s, I never would have thought about trying to observe 15 or fainter magnitude galaxies from here. These galaxies, how far away are they? Let's see. Galaxy 0.3 giga-years. That's what, 300 million light years? That's to one of them. The next one is, they're all going to be probably about the same because of they're in that same cluster. Yep, 0.3 giga-years. Yep. Something that far away, and you can say that it's 64,000 light years across. The 2.3 is an excellent camera for solar. I use my 2.3 plus and 2.3 on my Lunt. Well, let's go to something on the east side of the meridian. Okay. So let me stop the, Live stacking. Let me erase the name. And let's go to, let me pull up the Messier list. Defaults, Messier, okay. Well, welcome aboard, Rusty. Let me go, I'll start off with Orion. Slew to and center.
The telescope is slewing.
This will definitely be a dome rotation. Seems to be a little haze out there, but let me re-aim the scope relative to the dome. Yep. Okay. Let me drop my light shroud. Okay, let me go to the small scope. Okay. I'm going to do a meridian flip. It's not exact. 64, so now east and west are now reversed. Let's see if I go in the right direction. I want to capture the running man tonight. No snow here yet. See if that puts me close to the center. Maybe a little past. So let me go back to the other. I don't think I need that long of an exposure. Okay. How about stop 25 seconds and go down to maybe like 5? And move the black. How about maybe a little bit shorter? 3 seconds. And do a white balance. Maybe I'll start with some real short exposures. Start looking with a half-second exposure. Okay. How about a quarter-second exposure? Okay, quarter-second exposure. Turn off the white balance box. And maybe even a shorter exposure. 1/10 of a second. That's too short. "200 milliseconds loop." I'm going to start the live stacking just to build up a base. So now I'm off on. I went to M42 first. This should build up a bunch real fast. Hi, Perry. So now let me bump the exposure up. To say 3/4 of a second. Let's see what the other camera's doing. So that's a, what do I have in there? 15-second exposure at f4.7. And I've already captured 140 images with that scope and camera, and with the big one I've captured 150 images. So I'm building some core detail there. Oh, come on, phone, stand up. Let me do another bump in exposure. So let's two seconds. Who else came in? Perry, Will, Rodney. Okay, Will. Okay. So I started averaging in now some 2-second exposures. It doesn't feel too bad in here right now. Just about finished my first cup of coffee. I have a second one sitting in a thermos on the other desk. Okay, so now stop 2 seconds. Let's go to 5. You're just starting to see the extensions on the nebulosity with 5 seconds. One thing I didn't do, I didn't get the bat knob mask out and do a focus tonight. Whoops. Just bump it up to 10. Looking good. Big jump. See what 20 seconds going to do to it. And tonight, no filters. This is the view at the 16-inch at f8. Jeff, did you see the email I sent you about the all-sky camera and why it was so washed out during the daytime? Basically, if you pick an auto exposure and put the auto exposure box someplace in the active window, as the sun passes through that spot, the exposure goes wacky and blows the whole thing out. What I wanted to do tonight also is that planetary nebula that Matt was looking for the other night, the Calabash Nebula in M46. I had seen it with this scope and camera last March, but I really wasn't looking for it last March. And somebody pointed out that it was in the image I had posted, so I want to actually try to look for it tonight. I did the Hickson. That was number 7 on my list. One more big jump to 30 seconds and let's see what happens. it's pretty faint and pretty small. I don't think M46 is high enough to look at it yet. I'm going to go from here to the running man. Yeah, you do. I mean, this is not bad. It's maintaining the integrity of the core. While I'm stacking 30-second exposures. You can even start to see the running man in a little 2.4-inch refractor. Yeah, I started with what is it, 0.2 of a second exposure, stacked a bunch of them, then I jumped up to 3/4 of a second, added those to the stack, then 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. So I'm just building on the fly. So it allows you to not blow out the trapezium. Yeah, I didn't play with the gain at all. The gain is at 60 out of 150, so it's a 40% gain. The only thing I adjusted was exposure time. And of course, as the exposure went up, I had to move the histogram, the black level, to the right. But right now I have 95 in the stack. Of course, that encompasses everything from a 0.2 of a second through, currently I'm at 30 seconds. Well, I'm going to stop this. Let me stop the... Yeah, you can see the black point over here on the is at about 161. I started off with it all the way to the full left. So now I'm going to pull the black point to 0. I'm going to stop the exposure down to something around 5 seconds. I'm looping 5 seconds. I'm going to now stop the stacking and move over to the running man.
The telescope is slewing.
That was a big move, folks. How come it, wait a minute. Did I go the right way? click somewhere, but it doesn't look like it went to the right spot. Let me go with the small scope, stop it, go to about a 3-second exposure, and then try to move it back. Now you leave the looping run. I'm in trigger mode the whole time though, yes. Somehow I got way out of whack with that last go-to. That's assuming my two scopes are yeah, you just leave it in trigger mode and then just go and change the exposure. Oh, I didn't want to go that way. Okay. Okay, there I am in the 61 millimeters. Yes, you can. Just you stop the trigger mode, change the exposure, start the trigger mode. See, now I'm in the right spot. I don't know what happened before. Okay, so let's try. Which way do I have to move it? Do I have to move it any at all? Let me go to longer exposure and see what happens. Let's see. I'm stopping. I was in 5 seconds. So let me go to 10 seconds. Loop 10 seconds. Yeah, you could change the dark. I'm going to go up and a little bit to the left a little bit. Let's see where that puts it. Was that too much? We'll see. Okay. Move this a little bit, let it settle down, and then we'll start building a stack. I'm going to start the black off at around 20. And let's start the live stacking on the running man. So this is running man NGC 1977. Okay. And let me put a little. Yeah, this is the 16 right now. 16 is in color. And this is the monochrome. Let me go at a longer exposure. Let me go to say 20 seconds with the monochrome. Yeah, this is the 61 millimeter with the 26mTEC. I just went to a 20-second exposure in it. And I will have to raise the black. Start at about 45. Yeah, this camera in the 61 millimeter yields about a 5.5 degree field of view. Whereas the 16-inch with the much larger censored 24 CTEC only yields about a 2/3 of a degree field. Now this is with the 16. So this will be object number 9 for the night. As you can tell, I like jumping around from target to target. I'm not so much into accumulating an hour's worth of data to produce a pretty picture. I like looking at a bunch of different targets over the course of an evening. Yeah, the sensor in this 24 is 43.3 millimeters measured diagonally, whereas the one in the 26 is 28.3, 15 millimeters smaller. And no, I don't have all of these parameters on my head. I have a little cheat sheet here on the wall in the observatory. So I got 17 in the stack. So now, Dan, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop. I'm going to change to 20 seconds. Start the loop. So now I'm looping at 20 seconds. You'll notice when the first 20-second exposure jumps in, the histogram's going to jump to the right. And at that time, I will move the black point over. Probably to about 80. Yep, okay. I got an hour and 39-minute screen capture video recorded so far. And almost 200 images with each camera. What I like is that you start seeing a dark nebula at the top, and it starts giving a brownish cast. I guess, yeah, by moving the black point up, it kind of keeps the sky background about the same darkness. And of course, I think all of the other parameters are pretty much default. Color adjustments, well, no, I have the contrast at 41 and the gamma at 1.2. I usually start at 0, but I forgot to play with those. Frame rate is high. And I am at digital binning 2. I did a quick twilight flat of the sky, and I applied it. And the darks I took, I don't know, 6 months, a year ago. Still using the same darks. I still have to read that article that he just got published in Astronomy Technology Today on his 26 CTEC. Pretty long article. I think Simon and some of the other people in the Ottawa group are the ones that started experimenting with the low gamma, starting with low gamma to get the data to show up quicker. Yeah, I printed out the pages for that article, and it's laying on my bed. If I can stay awake when I go in later, I'll look at it. I think after this I'll probably go to the Horsehead. I didn't realize that one of the Astronomical League bright nebulae is IC434, which is the background bright nebula that illuminates the Horsehead. So let me do one more exposure jump up to 30. So I started looping at 30 seconds just now. That's a question for Jeff. Yeah, I didn't think it would. Seconds just blew the histogram all the way to the right. That'll be the last jump, 30 seconds. Not that I'm aware of. You lower the gamma. Okay. Yeah, I really like that dark nebula right above the Running Man. And the colors. See, I'm going to have a bunch of images that I can play around with in Topaz Denoise afterwards. Oh, that's for Jeff. That's okay. That's for a captured image. You can't do it while you're. Yeah, once you make a capture, then you can use the denoise function. Okay. You know, right now I got 33 in the stack. Also getting some wispy detail in the nebula above the Running Man's head. Very nice. If I can do a white balance. White balance. It was 3051. It didn't change by much. It went from 3051 to 3150. It didn't change much. It's not warm down south. That's a myth. It's warmer than it is up north, but it's not warm. Unless you're like where Steve Mason is. He was broadcasting from down in Baja, almost down to Cabo San Lucas, the last few nights. He says it's warm down there. Let's see, how warm is it here? Let's see, according to it's 45 degrees with a 39% humidity in the observatory right now. And for us southern boys, that's cold. Of course, I only have a long sleeve tee and one sweatshirt on. That's it. 5 Fahrenheit? Nah. Well, I do have I have a dehumidifier running in the observatory, and it was about 35% humidity when I opened the dome, so it just kicked on a little bit ago. This is looking nice. I don't know if I can't go any longer exposure. It would just push the histogram all the way against the right side. Well, let me restore the histogram to its... Oh, let me do a... Where's the center of the field? It's right up. Those 3 stars. Let me do a 3 stars, 1 star. So let me do a sync. Sync telescope to cursor.
Telescope position synchronized.
So I just synced to where the scope is currently pointing. I'm going to stop the exposure. I'm going to go to something like a 5 seconds loop. And I'm going to stop the live stack. Okay. And there goes the satellite right across the top. Let me sync on slew to attack. Let me go to the horse head. Let me click on slew to and center.
The telescope is slewing.
So it just slewed over to the horse head. Let me see where the dome is in relation to the scope. Okay, I see the triangles of stars, so I know I'm on the horse. Okay, let's start with a longer exposure than 5 seconds. Stop. Let's go to start at 15 seconds. So you got 2023 at the bottom, and you should have the horse head there. Okay, let's see. Could probably go down a hair. Put 2023 right at the bottom edge. I don't want to end up getting that bright swath from Allen attack. Just did one more little minor tweak downward. Yeah, well, as soon as it stops moving, let's go to white balance. Put the box over here somewhere. So I was at minus 30, minus 51. Let's do a white balance. Let's see what happens. Minus 31, minus 51. So it only changed by one click on the red. That was it. So there's the horse head in the middle. Let me start doing a live stack. And I'm on, this is number 10, IC 434. Okay. IC 434. And let's see, what is and that's what NGC 2023 at the bottom left. Let me put that up there. NGC Okay. God. Foot of snow. Whew. Nah. That doesn't sound like fun. When we get snow, we measure it in millimeters. Good night, Mike. Glad you could stop by. I'm going to get coffee cup number 2. So who just left? 7 feet. If you, that's no, it's hard to imagine. I'm going to go from 15 seconds to 25 seconds. See what that does. I think the most snow I ever saw was back in 2000 when my wife and I were staying in Estes Park, Colorado. We woke up and it was snowing, and this was June. And we drove to breakfast, and by the time we got out of breakfast there was at least a foot on the ground. Luckily, it was big, fluffy, airy flakes that quickly dissipated. By the time we hiked the whole day and came back to the hotel, it was all gone. Of course, up at the 10 and 12,000 foot elevations, it lasted a lot longer. Seven feet of snow. That's just... We'll get that volume, but it'll be in liquid form. Yeah, Estes Park was somewhere around, I think around 8,000. But then we hiked for 8 days up in Rocky Mountain National Park, and we took the road across the crest. I think that was 12,000. We hiked a bunch of trails, probably at the 10,000 plus elevation. Of course, we were 22 years younger. I'm glad we did it when we did it, because I sure couldn't do it now. Yeah, I missed the Estes Park Observatory. When we were there, we had stopped on the way and visited Randy Cunningham from Astro Systems at his shop in LaSalle and got a tour of the facilities. And then one night, Randy and one of his workers, Alan Popenhagen, rest in peace, we're going to do some observing at Little Beaver Meadows up in the park. So I met him up there, and we observed with one of his scopes, and the National Park Service had their needs going. It was really a good night. Oh God, no. And how quickly did it turn to a sheet of ice, Jeff? This is... Okay. This is not looking bad. Yeah. So right now we're at 25 seconds. The horse is starting to show some of the detail coming down the back of its mane. Maybe I'll try bumping the exposure a little more. Okay, so let's stop. Well, let's go to 35 seconds. So this would be a combination of 15, 25, and 35 second exposures. I was thinking of saying something, Jeff, but I didn't want to jinx what's going on. Okay, so it definitely shifted to the right. So this will be the last jump. What's it looking like with the other camera? I guess I could try going longer. Stop. Let me go out for a second. I'm gonna get me another sweatshirt. Getting pretty close to well, it's not quite counterweight up yet, but getting close. Okay, let me go back to the other camera. So where is... I had a few other objects on the list. I'm going to go to... see if I can find M46 and Puppis. See if I can find the Calabash. See, right now I'm aimed at azimuth 174. Yeah, the horse is not looking bad at all, and I'm starting to pick up, you know, the detail in the back of the mane and the little protostars on the nose, and not bad for forgetting to focus. Even 2023 at the bottom left is really showing a lot of nice detail. Yeah, not bad. Let me see. M40. Uh-oh, this is, they show this right on the meridian. Which way is the scope gonna go to get to it? How many more do I want to... Maybe I'll get a couple more in the stack here, and then I'll move on to M46. Clear that, get the next name on the list. M46 NGC 2438. That's the next target. So I'll get one more in and then I will move. So these ought to clean up nicely with the topaz. Okay, 46. Stop the live stack. Bring that over. Topaz denoise. There's a whole Topaz suite of software for enhancing images. I've been using Topaz Denoise AI, and it seems to work pretty well. So now, that is a 5-second exposure, and let me move over to M46. Slew to...
The telescope is slewing.
Let me see where it's going. It's doing a meridian flip. Oh. No, it didn't. I didn't think it was on the meridian. And that's the problem with SkyTools 4. It doesn't stay on current time. It stays on its own little time. Okay, let's see. Let me start with a little bit longer exposure. Okay, let me go to a longer exposure to start off with. Stop, and let me start off with I'll start with a 15-second. I think I see where the Calabash Nebula is supposed to be. Let me do a white balance. 3151. Let's see where it goes. 3052. And the Calabash Nebula may be that little linear feature there, I think, is the Calabash Nebula. Eraser time. Oh, complete with a tumbling satellite. Okay, so let's start doing some live stacking. Okay. Because even Sky Tools does not show the Calabash Nebula. But as I was pointing out to Jeff the other night, I had this little row of stars and a little circle of stars. And I drew a line between them, and then a line from there to the nebula. And I think that's the nebula right at the end of the line. If you zoom in a little, it's got a linear shape. But you can see at the full field of view, this is a 2/3 degree field from corner to diagonal corner. You can see how small that little target is right there. It's, you know. Well, right now I got 8 in the stack, 15 seconds. So this was object number 11 tonight. See, there's a Comet in Taurus. That would be on the west side of meridian. Cancer. Yeah, 142 is where it is, and the mount says is at 142. Yeah, for some reason, SkyTools 4 it doesn't maintain the current computer clock time, so the charts always revert to a different time. See, now we got 13 in the stack. There's the calabash right in the center. How did it get the name Calabash Nebula? Good night, Rodney. Glad you were able to join in. Let me change the exposure time. Right now I'm in 15. I'm gonna go. I'll try 25. It may kill the planetary. The planetary 2438 looks pretty nice. You can see it has broken ring structure. The red doesn't go all the way around. It kind of stops at 5 to 6 o'clock. I just boosted it up to 25 seconds. See if it makes any difference on the Calabash Nebula. Jeff, I lost track of what we were talking about. You said it might be a wrong setting which you may be able to change. What was that in reference to? Oh, according to Greg, there is a time step, and it's a little clock, and you click on it. It's supposed to keep the chart in the current time. And it was just now, I had it clicked, and it said it was 21:05, but actually it was 21:09. So over 4 minutes, it did not change. I've had on this target, it was off by 4 or 5 minutes over the last 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, Calabash. It's not really getting a whole lot better. It's there. And I could check it off that yes, I did find it again. Well, let's see, what's the next object on my list that I wanted to look for? How about where is Cancer and where is 67P? Let's see, current comets. Yeah, you're right. Multiple Barlows. Current comets. Let's see. See now, current comet Churyumov-Gerasimenko is in Cancer. Interactive Atlas. And let's see. See, when I went to that object, Jeff, the chart went to 11:58 p.m. But then when I click on the current time, it jumped to 9:11. And it says it's 81 degrees in azimuth and how high? 50-something degrees up. So let me see if I can find Comet 67P. Slew to and center.
The telescope is slewing.
Okay. Let me stop the live stack. And let me change that over. I think I got me a comet. And let me go to 10-second exposure to start off with loop. I see a tail going off to the lower right. Yep, that's the comet. Let's get it to the center. So I gotta come, see if I'm moving in the right direction. Oh, probably too much. Let me change the name. Okay, I'm moving in the right direction now. Overshot. Go to 1x and go straight up. Okay. I think I got it close enough. Yep, that's good. This is Comet. CHURYUMOB dash GERSIMENKO. Oh. Okay. All right, and let me go with a longer exposure. Let me try 15 seconds. Loop. Good night, Jeff. Glad you could stop by. So this is 67p. Let me do some live stacking. One, two. There's definitely a tail there, and I show it extending that way, but that's not where Sky Tools shows the tail. Unless that's an anti-tail. The Sky Tool shows the tail going in the other direction. I think Matt did this comet a week or so ago. Somebody asked him to look for the comet, and by the time we had the comet in view, he had left. Yeah, that tail does not match up with what Sky Tools is saying. Here's the information on the comet. It says it's magnitude 11.24, and it orbits the sun every 6.4 years. What is its current? Right now it is 0.6 of an astronomical unit from Earth. So 93 times 6, 93, about 55 million miles from Earth. I'm going to try going with a longer exposure. I don't know how much it's moving over time. That was 15. I'm going to go to 25. There are some trying to match up stars. Because Sky Tools, they show a few galaxies, but none really close to the comet. Do a white balance, and that didn't really change. No. Where is the double nebula in Orion? I'm going to build up a few more in here, then I'm going to go to the double nebula in Orion. Yeah, Sky Tools shows the tail kind of going off in that direction. If that's the case, what we're seeing is an anti-tail, I guess, pointing away. Strange. We'll try one more boost in exposure and see what happens. Okay, so we just got a big bump. I'll add a few more of these in, and then we'll move on to the double nebula in, I think it's Orion. Let me call up that list. That's under defaults, Astronomical League. Load that list in here? I guess I didn't. Can anybody hear me? Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. heard the pop. Okay. Okay. Good. I didn't put that Astronomical League Bright Nebula list in. Okay, well, let me see if I can search it another way. Tools. So it's called the Double Nebula. Double Nebula East, Double Nebula West. Yeah, that's it. More object information. That's what I'm going to next. Action. Interactive Atlas. Yep. Okay. And what time is it? Click. It's on the east side of the meridian, and it's high in the sky. Okay, good. Yeah, this comet looks pretty good. Okay, so let's go to the double. Slew to and center.
The telescope is slewing.
Oh, I gotta do a whole 180-degree rotation. I'm in the Dobson hole of the observatory, directly overhead. Let's stop the live stacking. Let's lower the black point. Let's stop the exposure, and let's go to something like 15 seconds, or maybe 10 to start. Okay. Okay, so which one is this? I think I want to move that down to the center. Okay, let's see. There should end up being multiple nebulae in here. Let's see. Let's see where it ends up. Okay, let's go with a longer exposure and see what happens. Stop. Let's go with 20 seconds. This is called the double nebula. Let's do a white balance because it's definitely off. Okay. Turn the white balance off. Off. And now let's start some live stacking. There is also, there's a row of stars. Where's the row of stars? Okay, let's see. So let's sync one in.
Telescope position synchronized.
Okay. Start building. There's also a galaxy in this field of view. It's actually a galaxy immersed in a nebula. Right below those two bright stars. That's Alita. Let's see. So there's a Alita galaxy. Let me put that up. LEDA 154 5363. And then there's also, it's hard to see. I have to go with a longer exposure. Alright, I'm glad you could join in. I'm not going to be on much longer. It's 9:30. Yeah. It's already been, I have almost a 3-hour recording that I'll be posting to YouTube later. There's a sharpless object, sharpless 2-254. That's in the field of view, right. Little fuzz right there. What else is in this field of view? Oh, no, that's not quite right with that. It's actually the whole area here is the sharpless. It's a real faint nebula. Let's see, let me try going with a longer exposure. So, stop, go to 30, loop, going to 30 seconds. See how far the histogram jumps. Yeah, good bit. Let me do a white balance while we're at it. 332, let's see where it goes. There's also, what is this target here? So this is this part here is called the east, part of the double nebula, and this one right here is called the west. So how many do I have in the stack? 16. Oh, my knees are starting to ache. So that would be number 13 was the double nebula. Thirteenth target for the night. Well, everyone, I think I'm calling it quits. It's been fun. It's been almost 3 hours. Tomorrow I should be able to post this YouTube video and some of the images from tonight on the Malincam group and on some of my Facebook pages. But I'm glad you all were able to stop by. Y'all have a good night, and we'll try again the next time.